Ready, Lori?
Yep.
Ready, Joe? All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Phil McLaughlin. Today is October 28th, 2025, and the time is 6:30. I am the hearing officer designee at this hearing for the Montgomery County Department of Transportation for the Carroll Avenue Separated Bike Lanes Project in Tacoma Park. Here with me this evening to conduct this public hearing are Joe Mogus and Krishid Belgrami. Mr. Mogus will be providing the information and details regarding the proposed project. Thank you for joining us in this virtual platform tonight. Tonight's hearing is being held virtually using communication platform Zoom and is also being recorded. A link to the recording will be posted within 48 hours after tonight's hearing on the project website for the Carroll Avenue Separated Bike Lanes Project. The link to the project webpage is provided by scanning the QR code in person and at the top of the chat on the virtual forum. Please note that your video camera is turned off by default this evening. This is to reduce the bandwidth of the meeting and to maximize technical efficiency. We request that you do not turn your camera on during this hearing. Likewise, your microphones have been muted once the testimony portion of the hearing begins. Those who wish to testify can raise their hand and you will be called on when it's your turn. You will be unmuted when it is your turn to speak. If you're joining us via telephone only, you may raise your hand by pressing *9 on your telephone keypad. Please wait until the testimony portion of this hearing to raise your hand. You may raise your hand at any time during the testimony portion of the hearing. We will call on you to provide your oral testimony when it is your turn to speak. Written testimony and comments may be submitted as well, will be considered with the same weight as oral testimony. Following the testimony portion of this hearing, we will hold a question and answer session if time allows. During that time, you may raise your hand and ask a question, or you are welcome to type your question in the chat box by clicking on the chat icon at the bottom of your screen in the virtual platform. Tonight's hearing is being held pursuant to Section 49-53 of the Montgomery County Code. The purpose of this public hearing is to obtain resident testimony and comments regarding the potential project to assist in determining if the project is in the best interest of the public and whether or not it should be authorized for construction in its entirety or a portion thereof. This forum allows you to provide testimony about the project either in support or in opposition. Testimony and comments received may influence the final design. Your testimony and comments should be focused entirely on this project, which is the topic of discussion. All interested parties are entitled to be heard at this hearing. However, the testimony portion of the hearing is not a forum for dialogue, questions and answers, or cross-examination. Please direct your remarks to the specific project that is the subject of this hearing. If comments stray into areas not related to the project, I will ask you to refocus your comments on the subject of this project. Following the conclusion of this public hearing, the record will remain open for 1 month to allow any person who is unable to attend this hearing an opportunity to have their comments included in the public record and to be fully considered. The official closing date by which all written testimony and comments must be received is Friday, November 28th, 2025 at 5 p.m. Submissions should be provided by the online comment form at the following link, which is seen on your screen, or emailed to Krishid Belgrami at Krishid.Belgrami. Let me spell that. KURSHEED.BILGRAMI at montgomerycountymd.gov by the close of the hearing record. Please be sure to provide your name and property address on the submission. Written submissions will be considered with the same weight as oral testimony. After the hearing is concluded and the record is officially closed, I, as the hearing officer, will review and weigh all the information submitted into the public record and make a recommendation to the Director of Montgomery County Public Transportation, Christopher Conklin, for his decision regarding the final detailed design of the project. And now to discuss the Carroll Avenue Separated Bike Lanes project, I'll pass it along to Joe Mogus.
Good evening, Mr. McLaughlin and Bill Grami. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joseph Mogis with the Montgomery County Department of Transportation, Division of Transportation Engineering. Tonight's public hearing concerns the proposed Carroll Avenue separated bike lanes project and related improvements along the corridor. A downloadable display is available in the hearing transcript to help visualize the project. I'll reference these visuals as I describe key features. The project extends along Carroll Avenue from Merrimack Drive to Piney Branch Road or Maryland 320, totaling approximately 0.54 miles. Let me begin by going over the proposed design displays. At the southern limit, the intersection of Carroll Avenue and Merrimack Drive is proposed for all-way stop control pending SHA approval to improve pedestrian and cyclist safety. Green shaded areas indicate grass buffers. The southbound lanes will be 10.5 feet wide. Northbound lanes will be 10 feet each. 5-foot wide southbound bike lane with a 2-foot buffer is proposed. Northbound cyclists and pedestrians will use a 10-foot wide side path designed to avoid utility conflicts. The northbound right turn lane will become a through lane with right turns redirected to Merrimack Drive via signage. Angled track crossings at University Boulevard will help cyclists safely cross the Purple Line tracks. The southeast pork chop island will be removed, and green bike crossings and bike boxes will be added for safer navigation. Next slide, please. Display B. This begins at University Boulevard, where a 10-foot wide two-way cycle track with a 5-foot buffer is proposed on the east side of Carroll Avenue. Southbound and northbound lanes will be 11 feet wide with a 10.5-foot right turn lane at the southbound approach. Pocket parking will be added where feasible. Raised crosswalks with curb extensions are planned at Osage Street and 11th Avenue. Display C shows typical sections of Carroll Avenue. Sidewalks on both sides will be rebuilt, and the two-way cycle track with buffer will continue along the east side. Pocket parking will be added where spaces allow, and travel lanes will remain 11 feet wide. A raised crosswalk with curb extensions is also planned in front of New Hampshire Elementary School. Display D shows a cycle track continuing northbound with a 2-foot buffer ending at Maryland 320 or Piney Branch Road. Cyclists will connect to future facilities along Piney Branch Road currently in design. Beyond the bike lanes, the project includes several other vital infrastructure and streetscape improvements. Existing sidewalks will be reconstructed to meet modern ADA accessibility standards, ADA being Americans with Disabilities Act, making it easier for everyone, including those with mobility challenges, to navigate the area. New curb ramps will be installed at intersections to improve access and safety. Crosswalks will be realigned and upgraded for better visibility and pedestrian flow. Driveway aprons will be modified to match new sidewalk grades and ensure smooth transitions. And drainage features such as catch basins will be added or improved to reduce runoff and protect infrastructure. The project includes designated areas for tree protection and new plantings, contributing to a greener, more attractive corridor. Existing utilities will be carefully managed to avoid service disruptions and ensure long-term compatibility with new design. It's important to note that almost all construction work will occur within the public right-of-way, apart from the area near New Hampshire State Elementary School, where MCPS has agreed to dedicate the necessary right-of-way to MCDOT. We appreciate the community's support as we work together to make Carroll Avenue safer, more accessible, and more beautiful for everyone. The estimated cost for installing the Carroll Avenue separated bike lanes project is approximately $3.28 million. Estimated costs include construction, inspection, and administrative costs. Funding for this project will be provided under the Purple Line BIPA, or CIP number 0502004. There are no properties considered to be especially benefited by the proposed improvement. Therefore, no properties are expected to be assessed. As previously discussed, several exhibits are incorporated into the public record binder for your information and consideration. The exhibits include 1. Office of Management and Budget, Purple Line BIPA 0502004. Exhibit 2, Project Vicinity Map, Carroll Avenue Separated Bike Lane Proposal. Exhibit 3, Montgomery County Government press release circulated and published on Twitter or X, Reddit, Blue Sky, Post Social, Mastodon, and Nextdoor social media websites on September 30th, October 14th, and October 23rd, 2025. The Washington Times proof of publication for newspaper and online advertisement circulated October 14th and 23rd, 2025, and in the Go Montgomery newsletter circulated on October 7th, 2025. Exhibit 4, all written testimony to date regarding the proposed separated bike lanes on Carroll Avenue. Exhibit 5, list of attendees to be added following this hearing. Exhibit 6, hearing transcript, also to be added following this hearing. Project-related data and files can be downloaded from the project website, a link to which is on your screen. The files will continue to be available to the public until the record for this public hearing is officially closed on November 8th, 2025. November 28th, 2025. If the proposed separated bike lanes project is approved, MCDOT will open the project for contract bids for the construction of the project. As previously stated, Mr. Kershi Bilgrami, or KB, project manager, and Mr. Oscar Garcia, principal design engineer with RK&K, are here with us this evening. They will be available after the testimony portion of this hearing to answer any questions regarding the construction aspects of this project. And now I turn the meeting back over to Mr. McLaughlin. So.
Sorry, let me unmute myself. I'm looking for speakers at this point. And do I?
Bill, we do have some who have pre-registered to testify. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't have that list, Lori. I don't believe.
I do. I have
Okay.
it. Just looking to see if they're actually here. I don't see either one of them. So I guess we will go to if anyone would like to raise their hand to testify. You can click on the react icon at the bottom of your screen and then click raise hand, or you could, if you dialed in on your telephone, you could press *9 to raise your hand and then *6 to unmute yourself. Would anyone like to raise their hand to offer testimony?
I see
Okay.
Mr. Brazaban.
Yes.
Or Miss Brazaban.
Ms. Brazaban, can you unmute yourself? Oh, there we go.
Oh, I think it's working now. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, some technical difficulties. I pressed the thumbs up button because I couldn't raise my hand, so I figured something would work. So like I said, my name is Jenny, and I do live off of Carroll Avenue, and I love the proposal. I do think that we should definitely always aim to be a little bit more eco-friendly and to make the community look more beautiful always. However, my concern is I do not know if anyone, and please don't take it as an offense, but I do wonder if we have driven around this area in the evenings. And I say so because parking is a serious issue around here. And but to the point that it has become a hostile environment where people who are not necessarily residents um, aka coming from the apartment buildings, are parking on our streets. And even if you say something as simple as, please, could you please not throw trash on the sidewalk, they become, not everybody, of course, but we have been in some peculiar situations with some individuals. And I kid you not when I say that we are parking on top of each other. And as much as I love the concept, I'm just afraid that it's not feasible. If this project was to be approved and if you were to move forward with this, it would become a major problem in this area. We did go ahead, just for context, and apply for the RPP program. I forget what it stands for, Residential Parking Program, if I'm not mistaken. So that the residents could have like designated parking, for lack of a better term, in our streets. But we both know that that alone is not going to address the issue. I just cannot imagine that much parking, that many parking spots being taken from Carroll Avenue, because like the previous gentleman was saying, I apologize, I don't remember his name. He kept saying the buzzword was we would open up parking spaces where space is allowed, wherever is permitted, wherever is feasible, right? And that's understandable. But that alone tells me that's going to be a problem because as it stands right now, parking is an issue. People are parking illegally. They're parking where the bus stops, right by the fire hydrants, in corners where they're not supposed to be parking. They're blocking driveways, and I'm talking about Carroll Avenue and 11th Avenue. So placing that bike lane there is going to just add on to the headaches that we face on a daily basis, to the point that this is not going to be comfortable coming home and parking. So we would have to expand the driveways, our driveways, and that's going to take away from curb appeal. And we don't want that. We want to be happy in our own homes. I am game for beautifying our community as much as possible, but I'm just afraid that the same concept that Tacoma Park has been implementing for the past few years is not going to work here. Maybe in the future, but unless we come up with another solution for the parking situation, it is going to be a major hassle. I'm talking from especially the University Boulevard, from University Boulevard to Piney Branch. That area, that stretch, major issue. We got people from New Hampshire Avenue coming over here to park because they can't find parking spaces in their area. So parking is difficult enough in front of my own home, and I definitely don't want it to get any worse, because if it gets any worse, then it's going to be it's not going to make residents happy, for sure. And I will end with that.
Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Are there any other, Mr. Olson?
All right.
Hi. I actually got on just to talk to also ask about the parking. I looked at the 60% plan today, and the bike path is on one side of the street where currently I think it's all parking, and that plan showed 6 parking spaces between, I think, University and Piney Branch. And on the other side, I don't know. But when I drive through, every time I drive through from University to Piney Branch, I know there's a bike path coming here. And you can see that there's probably between 50 and 100 cars parked on that road. And I don't see where those people are going to park. And that was really, I mean, I think it's a great idea, but to have a bike path. I'm always in favor of bike paths, but I just wonder where those people are going to be able to park their cars. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Olson. Appreciate that. Anyone else want to raise their hand and offer their feedback?
You can also type your questions in the chat box if you feel
Oh.
more comfortable.
Good point. Thank you, Lori. Have we seen any questions come through?
I think Eric has his hand up again.
Nope. Hey, Eric, if your hand is back up again.
Hi, my wife is here too. She wants to say something.
Okay.
Hi, so I am an avid cyclist. I have an electric bike and a regular bike, and I've been commuting my whole adult life in different places. And I'm, I guess I just also want to chime in that I love the idea of a bike path. But I I guess I have the same sort of basic. By the way, my name is Rachel Heckscher. I'm sorry, I didn't say that at the beginning. But I have the same basic question, which is, I mean, the bike path, I guess, seems like a luxury, whereas the parking of cars seems like a need. And I mean, like, it's hard to even hear myself say that, but in that particular area, I just, like, as a cyclist, I feel like I could walk my bike or go around or something, if it's too dangerous to bike on the street. But I do not see how such a crowded, densely populated area can do away with so many parking spaces. And I also appreciate what the woman who spoke before my husband did. Um, I thought she was, I mean, we don't live in the neighborhood. We live in a different part of Tacoma Park. But I thought she was very fair and eloquent and, speaking about the need for beautification, the impact on the property values, but also the very serious concern about parking for the people who do live there. I mean, I guess those apartment buildings should have been required to make parking lots when they were built 50 years ago. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
I actually thought of one other thing also, as I was thinking about the parking. The stretch of Piney Branch between Piney Branch and New Hampshire, that's a big road, has a big shoulder, and you could definitely park 100 cars along that shoulder. So I don't know if the State Highway Administration would like that. And thanks for having the hearing.
Eric,
Thank you
what
for
is
your-
your property address?
407 Tulip Avenue.
Okay, thank you. And Jenny, can we get your property address as well?
Yes, 8504 11th Avenue.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
We have any other comments? Okay, we do have our technical folks on here, so if there's any specific questions about the design or anything that you would like to ask one of our engineers about, that would be fine as well. Lori, are you seeing anything in the chat we want to go
Can we
to?
let's just restate, if you are on your phone, you want to dial *9 to raise your hand.
Yeah.
If you're on your phone.
What do you think, Joe?
Should we do last call for hands? I don't know.
Last call to provide comments. I will mention again that the official closing date by which all written testimony and comments must be received is Friday, November 28th, 2025 by 5 p.m. Oh, Jenny, did you want to go again? That's fine.
Did you see a hand?
He gave a thumbs up.
Okay. Okay. I think that might be it, Lori and Joe.
All right. Well, yes. The address again for comments, if anyone wants to send written testimony, questions, and/or written testimony, is on your screen, and that's through Friday, November 28th, and that concludes our public hearing. Thank you very much for attending. Have a nice evening.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Joe.
Okay.